Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our daily issue analysis. And thank you for all the messages, responses, feedback which you guys are giving. And we have been getting encouraging messages that this series is helping a lot, especially the people who are preparing for means and people who are preparing for next year. It is helping them in understanding that what to read and how to prepare for means, how to cover a topic in a holistic manner. So thank you that if it is helping you all. And also our notes, handwritten notes for this specific issue which we are providing on our Telegram channel is being appreciated because it is helping you in quick revision and also understanding and helping in developing and understanding that how to make notes. So thank you everyone. Please make use of it. And let's start with the today's discussion on current affairs issue. So today we have taken the topic of single-use plastic, and that is leading to plastic pollution. And why in use? Because from last 1 week, especially from the 1st July, we know that single-use plastic ban has kicked in India, and this is in news that how single-use plastic they harm environment, and government has come up with a ban. Okay, so here government has notified from July 1st, Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2021. So it was introduced last year itself, and government had told that these rules will be notified. These rules will come into action from 1st July 2022. So it was the rules for amendment last year itself, and the warning, or you can say the notice, was given in advance for that it will be implemented in next 1 year. So why single-use plastic is being banned? And because this single-use plastic they are choking the terrestrial and aquatic ecosystem, including the marine environment. And what has been banned actually? Plastic sticks, plate, cups, glasses, cutlery, ice cream sticks, etc. So even the packaging material, you will find that they on day-to-day life we use single-use plastics. Their utility is very low. So the problem is that they have low utility. You cannot recycle them, you cannot use them, and also they have high littering potential because if you talk about the ice cream sticks or the straws, they we use it and we throw it. We don't know about their recycling capacity, we don't know whether they are being recycled, and they cannot be recycled. Okay, and if they stay longer for longer duration in the environment, so they become microplastic and they're choking the drainage, they are choking the aquatic ecosystem, and they're everywhere. Not only that, they are entering the food chain also. So they has huge potential to create very bad impact, pollute not only the environment but also through food chain, through cycle, it is reaching to human health as well. So you must have come across the videos when cows are eating uh, cows are eating plastics, how the traces of the microplastics has been found in the fishes. So they have very huge potential to pollute the whole ecosystem. So it is very dangerous. So this is very important, but this issue is being debated a lot. So people from industrial houses, they are not appreciating it, but at the same time the environmentalists, they are happy that finally this decision has been taken and it will favor the environment and it will lead to ecological restoration. So let's understand it in detail. Now we will try to understand what other measures are being taken by government, especially the Ministry of Environment is very vocal about single-use plastic ban. So there was a assembly, United Nations Environment Assembly, which was held in 2019. That was the fourth assembly. So India piloted a resolution on addressing the single-use plastic product pollution, and it was given a recognition the urgent need for the global community to take action on it, to focus on this important issue of single-use plastic pollution. Not only that, also guidelines on EPR, that is extended producer responsibility, the ministry has taken action. So what was the focus? The guidelines on EPR focuses on strengthening this circular economy. Circular economy, we know that plastic will be produced, then it will be used, then it has to be recycled, then again reused, then it has to be discarded. So that circular economy is still not very functional, and we need to work upon that. So that for a framework to strengthen this circular economy, there is a special provision, a special guideline on the extended producer responsibility. Not only that, the guidelines on extended producer responsibility is also talking about finding out alternatives to plastic packaging and providing the solution or the steps towards moving towards sustainable packaging by the business houses. So we all know that the alternatives which are still available, which are available now, they are very costly, and there we cannot be it cannot it is not being produced at in mass scale like we produce plastic. So for that, guidelines are there that we have to strengthen it, and we need to find out what all we can do. So, keeping that in mind, capacity building for MSMEs is being organized in coordination, in collaboration with the Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Board. Government is organizing the capacity building for MSMEs. Okay, so that manufacturers, they will be able to get technical assistance for manufacturing of the alternatives when we are banning the single-use plastics. What all alternatives they can have, so that the they will have capacity, MSMEs will have capacity for alternatives which can be produced, so the availability and the cost will also come down. So capacity building workshops are being organized for MSMEs. Okay, and in order to make these regulations, the use plastic which has been banned from 1st July, to make this enforcement more effective, government has come up with national and state control rooms which will be set up, so that special enforcement teams will be working on that, whether if there is any illegal manufacturing, importing, stocking or distribution is happening or not, be it the sale and use of banned single use plastic items is happening or not. So for that purpose, we government has come up with national and state control rooms. Okay, we'll see other measures. The other measures which has been taken in order to reduce or in order to ban the single use of plastic are CPCB app. So CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, has come up with grievance redressal app which has been launched to empower the citizens also. Let's say if citizens are finding that the enforcement is being not taken care, so citizens will help to curb this plastic menace. Okay, so citizens can report if any place violation is happening, so citizens can also report using this app. Also, in order to create awareness, public outreach programs are being held, and for creating more awareness, prakriti prakriti mascot, so prakriti mascot has been also launched on 5th April, so that it will create awareness and empower the citizen to help in curbing this menace. Also, direction has been given to the local authorities to issue fresh commercial licenses with with the condition that single use plastic items will not be sold on their premises, and the existing commercial licenses will be cancelled if they are found to be selling these items. So this way government is coming up with strict measures, and they are monitoring the implementation, enforcement, and they are also empowering the citizen to take care of it. Also, through this prakriti mascot, nudging is also being taken care. So right from coercion, mandate and nudging, all the aspects are being has been taken care. Whenever we talk about policy making or policy implementation, it should include all the elements. There has to be mandate, there has to be coercion, there has to be nudging. So government is trying its best to make use of all the measures in order to reduce the single use plastic. Now it is our responsibility also. Now we have read that why and what all measures government has been taken. We have got to know that why it was in news. But we should also know that why do we need to ban single-use plastic? Why it is important? Then only we will understand the gravity of the problem. Then only our behavior will be guided in that direction. So it is important because generation. The if we have a report by state pollution control boards collected from different states, and here we have data that approximately 41 lakh tons per annum single use plastics are being generated every year. Okay, and this is the data of 2020-21. So this is huge, and that too when we know that this 41 lakh tons per annum which is being generated, it is not being recycled properly. We are using it only for one time, single use, as the name suggests. Where is it going? And we discussed that in the starting, that how it is choking the terrestrial, aquatic and marine ecosystem. So this generation itself is a problem because it is huge. Also, there is a report by one of the Australian philanthropic organization, Mindro in 2021, this foundation has done a global study, and they have found that this single-use plastic account for one third of plastic which is being produced globally. So that is huge. Whatever plastic is being produced at global level, one third of it is it includes single use plastic, right? And not only that, the same report has also identified that whatever these single use plastics are being manufactured, 98% of them are being manufactured using fossil fuels. Now you tell me, when we have fossil fuel itself is a very scarce resource and countries are fighting or thinking about energy security, we are running short of fossil fuels, and that too it is very scarce commodity, a scarce resource. So, is it wise on our part to use such a scarce resource for the production of a commodity which is being used for only one time? No, that is not wise. That is not prudence, right? It is not a good decision. So, why should not we ban it? Because, anyways, we are not recycling it. So, this is a grave matter. This is a grave concern. Also, 130 million ton, the majority of the plastic which is there, single use plastic, it is being 130 million metric tons globally. In 2019 it was found that are being burned, buried in the landfills, or they are discarded directly into the environment. So in the starting we saw that how they are becoming threat for the environment. They are not being recycled, so they are being burned, buried, and discarded. That's why they are threat for the environment, they are threat for the species, they are threat for the cows, they are threat for the humans, they are threat for fishes. They are hanging, loosely hanging and floating in the environment, in the air as microplastic, in water as a microplastic. So that is not good for the environment. So ban is the solution. Next, it is also the studies, according to the current trajectory of production, it has been projected that this single-use plastic could account for 5 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emission by 2050. That is huge if they are contributing. And we have also seen that how the usage of fossil fuels is being used in the production of single-use plastic, and 98% of the single-use plastics are being produced using fossil fuels. So the overall process will lead to greenhouse gas emission and thus global warming. So if we are going to, if we are talking about climate change, if we are talking about climate justice, then banning of single use plastic is a solution. Also, we have seen that they are being buried, burned, and discarded. So it is very difficult for to collect and recycle these single-use plastic, and that to enforcement is very big concern. So they are being either incinerated or discarded. So their recycling is not happening, and they are choking the landfills or the water bodies. Okay, so the reuse or disposal has to be in a manner which is environment friendly. But the plastic items, they are difficult to collect or recycle, should be eliminated. That's why ban is a solution. So these are the reasons. We have evidences, we have data, we have studies which suggest, and we have projections for the future which suggest that why we should ban single use plastic. Now we know that we should ban and it is not good for the environment. So what can be the strategy for managing this single use plastic? So the Director General of Center for Science Environment, Sunita Narayan, is suggesting three-pronged strategy for handling single-use plastics. So what is this three-pronged strategy? The first step is that collect for disposal, that all the plastic which is being produced and is used should be collected for the disposal, because we know that their disposal itself is a problem. So let's collect it. So collection point should be there, extended producer responsibility should be there, so that collection becomes easy. Then only we can think of the second step, that is the recycling. The waste plastic which has been collected should be recycled as much as possible. If that is not possible, then it should be incinerated. And not only incineration in general, but we should also look for option that how that through incineration we can generate energy, so that it is not reaching the landfills, as we discussed on the first slide, that it should not choke the water bodies, it should not choke the marine environment, marine species, and it should not become a health hazard or pollution or health hazard for humans or for other species, for the environment overall. Okay, so if let's say if recycling has been done, incineration has been done, and even after that there would be certain plastics which we need to dispose at the end. So we need to handle their disposal in the safe manner. Okay, the reuse or disposal has to be in safe manner, in an environment friendly manner, so that they are not going and becoming hazard or choking the water bodies or the air. So this is a three-pronged strategy which has been suggested by Sunita Narayan, Director General of CSC, that is Center for Science and Environment. Now we are talking about ban. We have discussed about why it should be banned, but there would be challenges in banning as well. If any ban is there, then it comes with challenges. So let's discuss about the challenges with respect to the ban of single-use plastic. So we are talking about banning, but there are a lot of exclusions. Exclusion. The current list of banned items does not include the multi-layered packaging. So these MLPs, they create huge problem. Multi-layered packaging. So you talk about the fast moving consumer goods, be it chips, shampoo, gutka pouches, everything. Or on day to day basis, we are using the Bisleri bottle. You go to any conference, you go to any office, small bottles, plastic bottles will be given. They are single use only because we are not recycling, we are not reusing them. That is one problem. You talk about day to day life, we are using milk packets. So that is also being discarded, and that too it is being discarded in that manner that it is not being recycled. So a lot of exclusions. You talk about the Coca-Cola bottles which we use, again we are dumping it in the garbage, and that too not, no segregation is happening. So a lot of exclusion is there already. So do you think with this exclusion just banning single use plastic will help? So that is a question mark. Next challenge is ambitious recycling target has been kept by the government. So government has kept a target that by 2026, 2027, manufacturers will have to recycle 100% of their plastic packaging. 100%. But how is that possible? These manufacturers, are they prepared? Do they have backup? Have they planned? Has the government analyzed anything that how this recycling targets will be met? Not only that, by 2022-23, it is expected that companies will recycle 70% of their plastic. But how is that possible? This is very ambitious. We don't have any practical data, we don't have any observation. So, this target, even though it is desirable, but it is ambitious. Next challenge is there is lack of information. There is no information on quantity of the plastic material or the waste the companies are generating. Because when we are talking about recycling targets, in the first place, first of all, we should have the information related to how much they are generating. What is the quantity? So no information is there on the quantity of this plastic material or the waste which companies are generating, which organizations are generating. Not only that, it is also based on self declaration. So whatever I as a company is declaring, that information is there only with the government. So there is a lack of information. Okay, so that is a problem. Next problem is related to, if this ban is going to happen, then it will affect the overall supply chain. So 98% of the single use plastic is used by, be it MNCs, corporate manufacturers, producers, e-commerce companies, warehouses, warehousing hubs, industries. So many MSMEs, they pack it and then they send to e-commerce houses. From there it will reach to consumers. So lot of production units either in packaging or of packaging of the goods or the finished goods, and the single use plastic is used, so it is going to affect the whole supply chain. Okay, next problem is related to employment. So, All India Plastic Manufacturing Association has come up with the data. They have analyzed that this ban would shut 88,000 units, which is going to directly affect the employment of the people. Already, we are struggling with the unemployment problems, and we are coming up with the schemes like Agniveer for in order to manage the challenges of unemployment. So, if this ban is going to be implemented, then all India Plastic Manufacturer Association is saying that this is going to affect the employment of uh, people, because it will lead to ban shutdown of 88,000 units. So this is the challenge. So we have to think about the backup. So let's analyze the other challenges. The other challenges which are related with the ban aspect is that it is going to create loss of revenue. So it has been analyzed that we are earning, India as a country is earning rupees 25,000 crore from the exports of the single use plastics. So it will be a revenue loss. Then how we are going to manage that loss of revenue? Next is with respect to the provisions. This particular provision has this law has the provision of imprisonment and fines, and it is said that the violation of the ban could invite for 5 years of imprisonment and a fine up to 1 lakh rupees or both. And if the violations are repeated, then it can lead to additional fines of rupees 5,000 for each day. Now the problem is that the people who will be affected from this will be street vendors, MSMEs. So they are using the single use plastic more, and they it is going to affect them. So how are they going to bear that cost? Is it viable or not? So this is also a challenge. Next is related to the costly replacement. So whenever we talk about the fast moving consumer goods companies, the street vendors, so they are using the plastic straw, the plastic spoon, or the thermocol plates. So what is the alternative for them? The alternatives which are available, like a steel straw, or for that matter bamboo straw or the bamboo plates, they are very costly, and for street vendors it will be a costly replacement. So they are not they're not ready for that. They are available, but they are costly. So is it viable for them or not? So again, it is a question mark and it is a challenge for them. Also, capacity limitation is there. There is limited capacity in India to provide biodegradable replacement. Since capacity limitation is there, that's why availability is getting affected. That's why affordability is also getting affected. So because of this, these problems, it is going to be a challenge in the implementation and enforcement of single use plastic, and practical difficulties will be there. The marginalized section, especially the street vendors, the MSMEs, the people who are engaged at these levels will be affected. So we have to think of viable option. Let's discuss the way forward now. Now, what is the way forward? So, if we analyze from the international experience, so international experience as of now says that 68 countries have banned the plastics, and at various levels, and a lot of enforcement is also going behind that, so that implementation aspect is being taken care. So, international experience recently, Canada has announced the ban of single-use plastic in their nation from December 2022. Even Bangladesh, New Zealand. So international experience is saying that we should move towards ban, definitely, but at the same time we have to find out alternative employments as well, because it is leading, as we saw previously, that it is going to affect the shutdown of 88,000 units. So we need to find out the alternative employment opportunities for people who are engaged in the production of the single use units, especially the marginalized people, the small players, the retail players are engaged in this. So it is going to cost them. So we need to find out the alternative employments. Not only that, we have to also look for eco-friendly alternatives. So there are eco-friendly alternatives. You talk about stainless steel straws, bamboo straws, or instead of balloon, choosing eco-friendly decorations like flowers, paper flowers. Okay, these are the options. Then reusable glass or mug we should carry to the offices or the schools. Reusable bamboo utensils are nowadays are coming up. So we need to invest in travel cutlery set. Okay, jute bag in place, and cloth bag in place of the plastic bags. Steel bottle, our own steel bottle in place of the plastic bottle. So there are eco-friendly alternatives which even we as a consumer should explore. Also, most important is we need to nudge people. Behavioral changes is required at the level of people, because if we as a consumer will not change, then how we can trust the producers? We as a consumer, we need to boycott, we need to cut down our consumption, so that then only we can expect that producers, when they will see that the demand is reducing, so they will also produce less. So there has to be nudging on part of behavioral aspect of the consumers also. So these are the solutions. Then only we can assume that we can have a plastic free world, and plastic pollution will not affect the marine ecosystem, terrestrial ecosystem. It will not become hazard for us. And not only that, every day we come across videos where the cows are getting killed or they are dying because of eating of the plastics. So these kind of menace, these kind of problems will reduce only we when we decide that we are not going to consume. So let's take a resolution. We should reduce our plastic consumption as far as possible, and we have to be sensitive, we have to become alert. So let's strengthen our environmental ethics and contribute towards this success of single use reduction of single use plastics. Okay, so this is it with today's discussion. Hope you guys got good points, you got a holistic understanding. Let's meet in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.